Good morning, everyone. So I hope your day is going well. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Manuel Holguin. I am the business advisor for the Community Features Entrepreneurs with Disabilities Program, EDP, in rural communities. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that I joined you today from the Enclacapmonk and Silk territories in the Nicola Valley. The Community Features Entrepreneurs with Disability Program and the Innovation Through Diversity, Entrepreneurship, and Adaptability Program, EDP and IDEA, provide support to people with disabilities or chronic health conditions who are interested in being self-employed or already operate a business. A big percentage of these clients we serve are looking into starting or maintaining a business. One of the first decisions to make when starting up a business is to determine if they need to apply for business financing. Since we do not have funding available through this program, the EDP works closely with 34 community features offices across the province, WEBC, Futurpreneur, RISE, Vancity, amongst other lenders to raise the capital needed for our clients. If you become an EDP client and you need financing, we provide support to help you develop your business plan. Keep in mind that a business plan is needed when you are applying for a business or commercial loan. You need to prove the lender that you have done your market research and that there is a market interested on your product or services. Once this business plan is completed, the business plan will be reviewed by one of our business advisors before your application is submitted to the lending organization of your choice. We understand the challenges some clients may face when they are not considered bankable by the traditional financial institutions. Here at the EDP program, we also have seminars available to help our clients understand how their credit history will impact their loan application. To understand more about the process to apply for some financing, we have with us today 5 different presenters that will talk about eligibility, available financing, types of loans, lending requirements, secure and unsecured loans, microloan program, business loan terms, and much more. Due to the number of participants attending this webinar, I am asking you to write down in the chat box all your questions you may have. At the end of the presentations, we will have some time to answer as many questions as possible. If for any reason we are unable to answer some of the questions, I will be emailing you the answers to your questions after the webinar. I will add my contact information in the chat box, so you are welcome to contact me if you need to discuss further the EDP or the IDEA programs. Lastly, this session is being recorded, so all of you will receive the link to access the recording for future reference. In addition, I'm asking our presenters to include their contact information in the chat box so that you can reach out to them for further information. So let me introduce you to our first presenter, Dugan Selkirk, Business Advisors from RISE. Welcome, Dugan.
Hey, thanks, Manuel, and thanks everybody for coming today. You can all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, my name is Dugan Selkirk. I work with RISE Helps. We are a charity-funded lender. We focus on helping people who are recovering from mental health and addiction challenges to secure startup financing for their businesses. I have a little presentation here. I'll just put it up because I have it. I guess you guys can see this. So yeah, I'll just run through it quickly. So yeah, our typical criteria coming into the program, and I self-identify as having a mental health challenge. I mean, at this point, I think, everybody on any given day can identify as having mental health challenges. We do also typically serve, well, our mandate is clients that are unable to access traditional financing. So again, typically most of our clients come to us after being declined by the big banks and even some of the other lenders that I'm sharing the stage with. And that's okay. I mean, we are kind of a ramp into traditional financing. So let me just move my screen around so I can actually see what my presentation says. So again, yeah, typically viable business idea, a business plan, and cash flow projections. We do 1 year of kind of conservative cash flow projections, and probably we'll learn more about this from the other lenders. We do offer training around the business planning, but there are definitely better resources, specifically the Entrepreneurs with Disabilities Program and IDEA program, that will support an entrepreneur to get a business plan ready. And then when it gets to me, we're just sort of fine tuning. We do sort of take business plans from whatever template the client wants to work with. We do have our own kind of proprietary cash flow tool. So I work specifically with the client to kind of take whatever cash flow projections they're working and plop them into our tool that our loan review committee uses. We also offer mentorship with our loans. So there is a bit of a process. So you come in with a business plan, we do some fine tuning. It does take, a couple of weeks of back and forth just to sort of set expectations with anyone that's viewing this. We're not easy financial. It does take a bit of time and a bit of work to get through the process, but, we see it as, we offer this training in sort of business financing 101. So the work it takes to get a RISE loan will help you as you move on and establish yourself and move on to work with some of the other lenders here and then more traditional lenders. So we're definitely a character-based lender. So, the requirements to get funding really kind of demonstrate that character and capacity that it'll take to actually operate the business. So again, yeah, they're low interest business loans. I'm not sure what our rate is at right now, given that our primes is sort of rising, but we're in kind of 6.75%, I believe, is where our interest rates are at. We do kind of micro loans from about $2,500 to $10,000 is our sweet spot. So that's important to understand. Let's see, what else can I say about our program here? Yeah, so typically there's a loan application, and I'll pop that in the chat with my contact info. The other requirements are the business plan and cash flow, which, like I say, we like to see a loan come in with those at least developed to a draft form. So I do say to my clients, like, don't OCD too much on the plan and the cash flow, because each of these plans and cash flows is sort of packaged and crafted for the lender that you're working with. So just give me something, and then we roll it up to our internal review committee, and they'll give us the feedback that we need. These are the questions we need to answer that your plan doesn't quite clearly answer, right? So get a draft plan and cash flow in. Again, if you don't have that started, there are good resources from RISE and from EDP and IDEA to help you get that done. Then from there, we don't pull your credit report. We ask the clients to pull their own credit report and history for us. Then we review that with the client, and I advocate for the client to the loan review committee. So I get an understanding of, what your credit situation is. And again, like, we serve people that have not, that are unbankable traditionally. And Manuel, give me a wave, and I'm getting close to being out of time. So yeah, so we don't do a hard credit inquiry. We get the clients to pull their own credit histories and send it to us. For scores, that are in like that 400 range, we'll typically suggest that you work with a not-for-profit credit counselor to kind of figure out what you can do. Our loan review committee has a credit expert on board as well, who will make some suggestions to help with that. And then sort of a typical, credit score that our clients have is kind of in that, from 400 to about 650, like anything below unbankable by traditional financiers. So that's a big one. You can't owe money to CRA, so you do need to have your taxes up to date and be at least on an approved payment plan with CRA. Resume and references are typical, and then proof of Canadian citizenship. So those are the requirements for the loan. Let's see here. Yeah, we talked about credit. Business planning. I mean, yeah, if you work through a business plan with one of the resources here or with one of our template, we'll get to this. It just gives our clients a really good understanding of like what their business actually does, how you actually make money, who your clients really are, and how you're going to get to them. And then we do that work on the cash flow plan to really understand, like, are you charging enough money, right? Like typically our clients come in and they want to, be half the price of everybody else because they want it, to be fair and accessible. But then as you analyze that cash flow, you understand, why the prices are the way they are, because in order to sustainably run your business, right, you got to be paying your taxes, you got to be reinvesting some money for growth, et cetera, et cetera. So we help our clients understand their cash flow. And just get a really deep understanding of what the metrics of their business are going to need to be to make a living from it, right? Short bio, is this about me? Anyway, so yeah, mentoring is another key piece of our loan offering. The statistic is staggering about businesses that have mentoring that don't, that continue on after 3 to 5 years. We have a national mentor pool. Our organization was founded in Toronto, so a lot of the mentors are from that area. Toronto is obviously a strong financial community, so for entrepreneurs that need that kind of guidance with finance and operations, our mentor pool is very experienced there. So for anyone that's watching this and has had some success in business, there are opportunities for mentorship too. So you can find those through the website, which I'll post in the chat. Yeah, and we do like to share our successes with our community. Again, we're a national lender with excellent partnerships. Given our charity backing and our charity status, we have some exposure with some pretty predominant organizations. So for clients that are looking to really kind of, put their name out there and grow their business with their story as part of their success, we can really help with that. Given our demographic, some people want to, remain private about their affiliations with us, but some people are really, their story is their superpower, right? And we want to help share and grow those stories, so we're able to do that. So yeah, I guess let's talk. That's the general inquiry email there. I will put my email in the chat and a link to our website. Manuel, you're saving questions till the end. So yeah, I'll be on after everyone's done presenting and happy to take any questions. So again, just to recap, we do microfinance loans, sort of $2,500 to $10,000 for people that self-identify as having mental health or addiction challenges and are on the road back to sort of functioning recovery from those challenges. We typically work with clients who have credit challenges and are unable to attain traditional bank financing. So that's our story. It's a great team, great organization. Yeah, we just do our best to help our clients where they're at when they come through the door with the help of all the other organizations here. So thanks, Manuel, for the opportunity to present.
Thank you so much, Dugan. Thank you all. So if you have any questions for Dugan, please write down your question in the chat box, and we will be able to answer as many questions as possible at the end of the presentations. Now, let's continue with our new next presenter. So Sarah Gusso, Business Advisors from WEBC. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, Community Futures, for having me. I'm just going to share my screen as well here too. Can everybody see my screen okay? Perfect. So my name is Sarah Guizzo, and I am a business advisor with WEBC, formerly known as the Women's Enterprise Center. I'm located in Vancouver, and it finally feels like summer today. It's a nice, sunny, hot day. So I hope everybody's having a great start to their summer. So I'll just take some time now to talk about WEBC and how we fit in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So we are a non-for-profit organization that provides support for women business owners to start, develop, lead, expand, and possibly sell their businesses. So we've been operating in BC over the past 26 years, formerly known as Women's Enterprise Center. We changed our name in November and we're now known as WEBC. Same great product, same offering, just a nice little freshen up. So we have offices in Vancouver and Kelowna with a team of advisors across the province. So our main mandate is providing that holistic approach to offer support, access to capital, skills and development building, and many, many other resources. So some of the services that we offer is we provide business loans up to $150,000 to start, buy, grow, expand, or buy your business. Business advisory services for entrepreneurs at all stages of businesses. We also have many different skills development workshops, webinars, training. We have a very unique and amazing mentoring program at WEBC. Peer group mentoring, one-on-one group mentoring, etc. And we also provide that supportive community to help our women entrepreneurs build their networks and profile. So I'll start with our loan program. So we provide loans, term loans, up to $150,000. So we are a non-traditional lender. So we do strictly term loans. Our space in the financial world is to work with your other non-traditional lenders, your charter banks or your credit unions. We can come on board and help finance a specific growth project or need. So to be eligible for our financing, the business must be a minimum of 51% women-owned and controlled. The only caveat to this is if we are working with a husband and wife business or a common law business where the male partner and the female partner are 50-50, that then we can also look at that as well. As I previously mentioned, we do partner with other lenders like Community Futures, Vancity, all your other major banks to come on board and provide that additional financing that clients may need. We do have a unique loan program called our Equal Access to Capital Loan, which can be used for immigrants, Indigenous women, and youth. So our lending philosophy is different because we do take a different approach when we are reviewing loan applications. And the main one behind that is we look beyond the numbers. At the end of the day, we're really trying to understand the business viability and the business plan. So we work quite closely with our clients to better understand their needs, their market potential, their strategic plans, their goals, etc. So we do take that hands-on approach to really support our clients so that they can take that plan and make it into a reality. We do not have a minimum credit score that is required for our loans, although we do look at the credit report as it is a risk indicator. So we'll look at that, but we do not have a specific number that we use as we're not a formula lender. So all of our loan clients have access to free ongoing support throughout the duration of their loan, advice from their own personal business advisor that will work with them directly, access to our hosted workshop and resources, and also an opportunity to join our mentoring groups. When we talk about loans, we can provide financing for all stages of growth. So if you're looking at, if you're a new startup business and your product or service is ready for market, we can help out with those initial startup expenses. We also have that specialty loan, which I previously mentioned, our equal to access capital, which has a maximum loan amount of $50,000, or perhaps you're in that growth stage and you need access to working capital to really get your business to the next level, or you need to hire more people, or invest in a marketing plan, etc. We can use that, our loan program for that as well. Or, maybe your business is doing very well and you're looking at acquisition, or, purchasing out a partner or selling your business. Our funding can be used for that as well. So as long as it's a business need, we have a program that can work nicely with that. Yes. So along with our loan programs, we also have business advisory services and skills and development. Like our loans, we provide skills and development training for all stages of business, for all different types of business needs. So if you haven't already done so, I highly encourage you to check out our website at www.webc.ca and check out the section labeled resources, and it will list out our current calendar of all the great programs that we have available. Majority these days is still online, so they are easy to access, and eventually maybe we'll be back in person as well too, but we do have recordings available as well, so please be sure to check that out, and you can see the list of all of our programs that are happening over the next couple months. As well, aside from our business loans and our skills and development, we also are very keen on the mentoring side of things. We have 3 different programs that we offer. We have one-to-one mentoring where we can match you up with a mentor. We also have peer group mentoring, which is a really unique opportunity to be involved with a group of 7 or 8 other participants that are in similar stage of growth, maybe similar industries. And we meet weekly to go over current challenges and opportunities. I've been facilitating several groups, and it is a really unique space to be in, and to get that help from your peers. So we love taking part in those peer group mentoring, and we also provide training for taking the stage. Aside from all of that, like I previously mentioned earlier, we host many different workshops and week cafes online throughout the year. Anything from, if you're looking at breaking down your cash flow, or you're looking at some HR needs, we have many different training sessions that we host throughout the year. Most of them are, some of them are free, and some are offered for, a nominal fee. So again, be sure to check out our website and see if there's anything that might be of interest to you there. And that is it. Yeah, at the end of the day, we provide that supportive community for our women entrepreneurs so we can help them grow and expand their businesses. That's WEBC in a nutshell, and I look forward to your questions later on.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sarah. So we have a few questions that we will address at the end of the session for you. So now let's go with our next presenter. We have Andrea Welling, Regional Director from Futurpreneur. Welcome, Andrea.
Thanks so much, Manuel. Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great morning. It's wonderful to be here. I also have a presentation for you, so hopefully that will be interesting for you. Just give me a second as I share my screen. Oops, I just need to go to the beginning. There we go. Okay. So part of the presentation, I like to give a couple of stories as I go along. And so again, I'm Andrea Welling. I'm the Regional Director for BC for Futurpreneur. And we provide financing and mentorship for young people who are 18 to 39. And I want to introduce you to Tiffany Chu. She has a kombucha business in Victoria. And part of her story as a young person who also struggles with anxiety, there was many different tasks that she had to do to get her business going. One was negotiating her lease. Another was improving her space and getting some leasehold improvements and figuring out how to really expand her market. And so what's really key about our program and also the programs you're hearing about today is around mentorship. So her mentor was really a key piece to help her build confidence. And she would say that she maybe wouldn't even have had the confidence to even do her business at all without that mentor. The mentor was just really there for her, especially for emotional support, but also some technical support and to help her really get used to being a business owner. So want to let you know about Tiffany, who's doing really well with her business. And you can check her out on Instagram if you want to follow her. She's lovely. And I wanted to also do just my own land acknowledgement. I'm in my home office on the traditional unceded territory of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations. I want to let you know our organization is very committed to the reconciliation process. We are currently doing our own staff education through some 4 seasons reconciliation training, which is amazing. And also where I live in North Vancouver, I'm really honored to be able to access the Spirit Trail, which is lands that is shared by these nations. So really happy that I'm able to do that in my community. So about Futurpreneur, we are a purpose-driven organization, and we have been going for also similar to what Sarah was saying, what WEBC, about 26 years. And our goal is to fuel young people. And fortunately, that young people definition is up to 39, so we have a little bit of space. I do apologize for those of you that don't fit our age range. It is set by the federal government, so it is an eligibility piece for us. Nonetheless, if you have any questions about your business, I'm always open to helping you, and just want to extend that invitation. We are mission-driven, diverse and inclusive, accountable and transparent to you, the client, as well as being collegial and collaborative. We are very committed to accessibility of all entrepreneurs, and want to really extend that invitation to you to feel comfortable to be able to share your business ideas with us, and that we can help you move forward. Just a little bit of our stats and some of our impact, and how we've supported many types of clients and demographics. Something that I'm really proud of with Futurpreneur is how we really help people feel prepared to launch their business. And one of those is our tools, which is our business plan writer. And it's a free resource. You don't have to be part of our programs. You can go onto our website right now and look on futurpreneur.ca. You look under resources and you'll see a business plan template and writer, as well as cash flow templates. So now some of those might be, again, a little bit intimidating. We're also here to help you with those, either through our business development managers or through our entrepreneur in residence. So we really want you to be prepared, and we will want to help you get there. So just take you through a couple of our different programs. This is all on our website. Don't worry about remembering it. If you're not sure, you just contact us and we'll make sure we get you in the right direction. But just to give you a flavor of our programs, and I always like to introduce some of our stories. This is William Jarvis. He was struggling as a programmer. He was getting burnt out. He wanted to do something different and started to renovate camper vans, and now rents those out to the community, and that's his business. So he was part of our startup program. As you can see, a little bit about our eligibility. You do have to be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. If you're on the way to becoming a permanent resident, we can chat with you. We can talk with you about your business, but to actually get you in the program, we do need that that requirement. If you are a student right now, we don't want to get you too sidetracked from your studies, but if you're in your final year of studies, you can be part of our program. your business should be past the research and development phase. So this might be a little vague or a little murky for you. And this is where you can contact us and we can kind of let you know where you're at. But we basically need that you can show that you'll be able to develop some cash flow within the first couple years, and that you're already doing some of your operations. So we're really focused on startup businesses. We support early stage. We do financing for startups. But we don't finance long-term growth or scalability. Again, if you're in either of the other stages than startup, let me know, because I can also assist you with resources. As similar to many of the other organizations and speakers today, we do want to need a viable business plan, including a cash flow statement. That's because it's a character-based unsecured loan. We don't need any assets or collateral. We don't take any equity. We don't need any previous business experience. So we do look at your credit. I won't get into credit too much. If you don't know about your credit, email me and I can let you know how you can access that. But it's a good thing to know about for yourself. But we do help you look at that business plan. We do need to look at that business plan to make sure it makes sense, because we don't want to lend you money if you're not really prepared for it. We do provide interest only in the first year. So that means it's a really small payment, a flexible 5-year repayment schedule, and best interest rates on the market. Our interest rates, of course, with prime going up, have increased. But if you do compare that to an unsecured loan, often they're much higher. But we're currently at 7.7% for Futurpreneur. And if you do get the BDC portion, the BDC rate is at 8.45. That's as of today. It might change again, but let's fingers crossed it won't too much. As we know, this is obviously a concern for people looking at loans and financing. We also have our side hustles. So this is Devin and Walker. They created a party game called Fluster, and it's a fun game. And what's unique about their story is they didn't want to leave their job. They wanted the security of their job, but they wanted to develop a business on the side. And so this is where the side hustle programs come in. And what's great about their business is they've had a lot of success, and they've actually started to export their business. So if you're interested to ever do exporting, we've got great contacts with Small Business BC, Export Navigator, Export Services, and would love to help you also be connected to those resources. You can see a lot of the eligibility is quite similar, so I won't go through it too much. As with all our programs, you're matched with a mentor for 2 years. So we ask all of our mentors to make a 2-year commitment to the program, and that's to really help you in those really early years. I had a business myself when I was a youth, and I can tell you that during those initial years and as we grew, the fact that I didn't have a mentor because I never knew about Futurpreneur at that time, I really wished I'd had one. And so my big message to new entrepreneurs is don't get isolated, don't do it alone, ask for help. Whoever you feel comfortable with, reach out. We're here to help you. That's our mandates. This program is about you have to show you have income from your employment to support the side business, and then it's set loans, 5, 10, or 15,000. So, and then we have a couple of our different programs that are focused on supporting some of our specific entrepreneurs. One of them is our Indigenous Startup Program. So we've got our Indigenous team. We've got some great My Indigenous Startups. We have a specific workshop as well as an Indigenous team to support entrepreneurs that really help them with that lived experience. And as you can see, the money up to 60,000, we actually land from 5,000 to 60,000. Is available through this program. And you can see some of the entrepreneurs. You can see Libby Garg, she started a Freshie franchise. So we support a lot of food-based businesses as well as franchise caterers, food carts, products. Devin Fiddler, as you can see, She Native Goods, she sells products, retail products online. So we have lots of entrepreneurs that love to sell their products online. Baby products, pet products, retail, sunglasses, weighted blankets, all sorts of things online. We can help you do that. And also the health and fitness. So the entrepreneurs in the bottom picture, I think it's Lauren and I think it's Shayna. They are doing a gym. And so we do have lots of health and fitness businesses that we support through Futurpreneur. And then in addition, we also have our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program. RBC has partnered with us specifically with this program, and they've helped with the loan capital and provided us a lot of resources to really support the Black a national network of Black entrepreneurs and leaders and organizations. We've got a really great podcast that we've created through this program. So I'll give you that link once I'm done my presentation. So you can check all these things out, which are all free for you to investigate as you are doing research on your business. You can see, again, the money is quite similar and similar rates and repayment schedule. We do have an opportunity for follow-on financing with this particular program in years 2 and 3. And both with our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program and our Indigenous Entrepreneur Startup Program, we do have some opportunity if your credit is a little bit low to unlock some additional financing if you go through a little bit of our credit education. So wanted to let you know about that program, and also to let you know about Sue Rose Reed. She lives in Invermere, BC. So we support, obviously half of our entrepreneurs who apply are in Vancouver and the Lower Mainland, but we also have our other half, which are throughout the province. So if you're living in a smaller community and you're looking for support, we're here to help you. We aren't physically in all these locations. We have a Vancouver office, and I have one business development manager in Kelowna. With that being said, we travel a lot throughout the province, and we really want to be there for you in whatever way we can. And Sue Rose, she sells baby products, bath luxuries for babies and mums. And she really wanted to get onto through Indigo, and she accomplished that goal. And we're really proud to support her. She also employs many other women in her community to do a lot of the sewing. And so it's always amazing that we can help not just entrepreneurs, but those of you who also want to create employment and economic development. So yeah, so, I'm kind of whipping through it a little bit, but because I could go on and on, but I'm just about to the end of my presentation here, and just want to let you know about some of our resources. One of them is our Rock My Business series. So some of you might be in that earlier stage, and you might be grappling with a couple ideas. You might be exploring a few different possibilities. And this Rock My Business Idea Workshop helps you evaluate your ideas and see which one you might want to pursue. And then the next stage is we really suggest, and we do in our programs, that you write a business plan. So you can attend Rock My Business Plan. And then for those of you who feel ready to tackle that cash flow statement, we want to make it easy for you. You can come to our Rock My Cash Flow. So we did just have the July series, is already passed, unfortunately, but we will have more of them in another series in September. So again, in a minute, I'll just send you all the links to these programs. Yeah, we also have a new program that's, I don't have a slide for this one yet. It's our GoDaddy, and it's also in connection with GoDaddy Empower program, which is also about more financial literacy and business education. So yeah, so I'll just give you my final slide, which is about being in touch. So this is my email address, my phone number, as well as our website. Please reach out. Would love to hear from you, would love to hear what's going on for you. And if I can't help you, I'd love to be able to refer someone to be able to help you on your journey. So yeah, so I think that's all for me. And I look forward to some of your questions when we have the discussion there at the end. Is that all good, Manuel?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Andrea. It's a lot
Great.
of information, and remember, so everything is being recorded, so we will be sharing the link so that you can review for further reference. So now let's welcome Puneet Jain. He is the business advisor from Vancity. Welcome, Puneet.
Thank you, Manuel, and thank you for this platform. I really appreciate it, and I would like to applaud all the colleagues, Dugan from RISE, Sarah, WEBC, Andrea. What great resources we have, and to start a business in these times. And all of the partners, they have really made an effort to make have the small businesses ready for their operations and stuff. So I don't have a presentation, but what I would like to do is I would like to share my screen with some of the resources that talk about Vancity. And I think, sorry. Sorry, I don't know if, can you guys see my screen? With Zoom, it's always,
Yes, we can.
okay. You can see Vancity, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So talking about Vancity, Vancity is one of the biggest credit unions in Canada, but we are just based out of BC, and we specifically have chosen to just stay in BC and concentrate on BC, British Columbia, Lower Mainland. These are some of the statistics that I'm sure you can find them, and I can put them on in the chat. But what is much more clear and much more close to my heart is the part where Vancity does financial inclusion and financial literacy. So we have recently done our financial literacy strictly online, so anyone can take any of these courses to get them business ready. And these are pre-recorded sessions with workbooks that you can learn about. For example, 10 things a lender looks for. Are you really ready? Are you ready to start a business? But I'm a big fan of Rock My Business Plan at Futurpreneur, which is an amazing resource for really getting into the thick of how do you start a business and what are some of the practicalities of challenges when you start a business. So I will share this resource as well. And this presentation was mainly geared towards the types of loans, the loan terms, and other things. We do all kinds of loans that you can see under the sun. We can be a conventional lender, but typically we are an impact lender. We like to see what business is doing impactful in the community. Now, impact has various definitions. Could be clean, green energy, women-owned enterprises. Financial inclusion is a bigger portion where people who are unbankable, community members that are unbankable due to various reasons. We have various programs to help them, assist them. Conventional lenders usually have black and white area, which means that either they can do lending based on the numbers or they can't do lending based on those numbers. With Vancity, we have a bigger gray area, which is under microfinance, where we can look at the passion of the business entrepreneur and what they want to do, and looking at the viability of the business, we can provide some lending. So our microfinance goes specifically for startup businesses, which can go up to $50,000. We syndicate with WEBC, Futurpreneur, BDC, and it's a relief when you syndicate a deal together where you're trying to mitigate the risks. Right now in this market, there are various risks. To name the top, a few that comes to my mind is the commercial real estate. Negotiating a commercial real estate is really difficult for a business. Now, how do you negotiate that? Small business VC, who's also another partner, and they're a Crown Corporation, they have various resources and they do various financial literacy sessions that are geared towards various topics. So all in all, this is a good syndication in all different realms. You can click on these links to see what these loans specifically do. But what I would say is microloans are prime plus 3%. As my colleagues mentioned, the prime is right now 4.70% at the moment, prime lending rate. So 4.70 plus 3%, so that makes it 7.70%. We don't charge any application fees. We don't have any age restrictions. We don't have any gender restrictions on the loan applications. You're more than welcome to, if you have applied with Futurpreneur and you got some funding, you're ready for your next stage, come talk to us. You have applied with WEBC and you have graduated from your startup phase, come talk to us. I would suggest while you're talking to WEBC, Futurpreneur, Community Futures, RISE, talk to us. They all know us. We all talk about the deals after we have received your permission to discuss the files. We do syndicate and see what is the better benefit for the business. One of the other foundational character for us is do no harm. So if you have already received a loan, we don't want to bury you in different loans, especially if we see that it's not going to benefit you in that sense. So I would suggest talking to accessing the various mentorship programs with Futurpreneur, WEBC. Those are very exhaustive lists, and they are very beneficial in any stage. And the benefit of the business plan, cash flow projections, as we all know, business plans are living documents. They need to be fed with information and honest information from the business owner. But keep doing that part, because that's what lenders really like. This is the other program that we have in syndication with in collaboration with WEBC, and I'll share that link as well. Unity Women's Entrepreneur Loan. Same, the terms are same about prime. The growth program, we do prime plus 1.5, and the startup phase, which is that you have to be in the business for at least 6 months. We can do we can give you $20,000 access with prime plus 3%. But this opens the doors for WEBC to provide you mentoring and other resources. Then Andrea mentioned about Equifax, the credit report. I think it's a really good tool from Equifax. You just make up your account and get access to your credit report. Because when you go to a lender and you tell them that this is my credit report and there's nothing on it, or if there is something, then these are the mitigating factors. As WEBC, as Futurpreneur, and as other lenders, we are not concerned about the number on the credit bureau. Your credit bureau number could have deteriorated because of a City of Vancouver parking ticket or something very minuscule. So what we want to know is, what is the story behind that credit report? Why is the credit report down? Was it just because of the City of Vancouver parking ticket, or something very simple? So that's about me from Vancity. That's what I could come up with for the 10 minutes. But I'm here for any questions, to answer any questions. Thank you, Manuel.
Thank you so much, Puneet. And again, we will have the time to go over all the questions that I'm seeing in the chat box at the end of the next presentation. So we have Rocio Zelinsky, General Manager from Stó Community Features. Welcome, Rocio.
Hey, Swale. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. This is just fantastic, hearing all this wonderful information from my fellow panelists, and all the things that we do, that at the end of the day, we just want to see that you're going to be empowered, that you're going to have the skills, that you're going to have all the resources and supports to start your business. So I'm just going to get my slide going here for you, and I can share my screen. Then I'll get started. Oops. We'll stop this. This will stop others' screen sharing. Do you want to continue? Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So again, my name is Rocio Zelinsky. My Indigenous background is from Mexico, and I'm the General Manager at Stó Community Futures. And I'm just going to talk about sort of the overall parts of the Community Futures Network throughout BC, as well as just about Stó Community Futures itself. I do want to start by a land acknowledgement by saying that we are here in the Sauk-Tamuk, the unceded traditional territory of the Stó peoples. And we're located here on the Stó Nation property on Kukulitsa and Chilliwack. So Community Futures BC is made up of 34 offices throughout the province. And we've been providing support to entrepreneurs in the rural areas of BC for over 35 years, believe it or not. We've been around for a very long time. We're nonprofit organizations, we have volunteer board members, we have salaried staff, and we're federally funded by Pacific Economic Development Canada, which is now known as Pacific Can. Our main mandate that we all 34 offices are focused on is that support to small business development in the rural areas. Making those partnerships with business leaders, communities in the rural areas to create that vibrant and sustainable community. We're different than a bank, sort of like the other organizations. We do provide access to loans and business supports to create not only just starting up a business, but also for the expansion and selling of your business. So it's important for us to ensure that we have that form of support for you from beginning all the way to the end as well. So support. So again, like my other colleagues and friends, we're here to create that insurance that you have a very viable business. That's key. That's very key to the success of what it is that you're interested in doing, whether you're meeting a market demand, whether you're meeting a gap. But also ensuring that you're going to be successful. So that development of that business plan, we don't write it for you. I'm so glad to hear that there's other supports. I'm really interested at learning on how to create someone to guide, because I know that's such a challenge to kind of put things on paper and put what's up here in our brains to put it onto paper and create your vision. I know is a challenge, but we're here to support you through that process. And also the cash flow component of it. We know that's a challenge as well, but we have, our business analyst, Shannon Smith, and myself, who are here to provide those supports and services to guide you through that process. We provide lending as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then also the different training programs that we have on that business aspect that we do on an ad hoc basis as a nonprofit. We're always looking to our partners and friends and colleagues to create these different platforms of training to give you the skills and the tools that you need to be a successful entrepreneur. And really critical for our relationship with you is to continue that aftercare, continue that ongoing business development support and resources is really important for all of us. So Community Futures actually goes across Canada, and we're part of sort of the Western group as a whole, as Pan West. And I wanted to just kind of give you a snapshot here of what I saw that I thought would be interesting to share. Is the top line, that light blue line, is the Community Futures supported businesses, versus the darker line at the bottom with non-assisted businesses. So, it's not just about Community Futures, but also seeking supports from these other organizations. So it's really important to reach out and get the supports that you need to, like Andrew was saying, don't do it on your own. Don't be that solopreneur. You've got all these resources and supports, and here's evidence of how that helps. Here in BC, we have 4 Indigenous specific Community Futures offices in this province, and we're one of 4 of them. So I wanted to share with you, the services that we offer specifically to Indigenous peoples, who include First Nation, Métis, or Inuit. We work with our communities. We work with community-owned businesses. And the key component here is that the business must be Indigenous owned and controlled by a minimum of 51%. So that's critical to access our services. So of course, we're in the South region. In the central part of the province, we have Community Futures Development Corporation of Central Interior First Nation, the one over there on the right with the bear and the logo. They're in the middle of the province. They're located in Kamloops. Then the northern part of the province, we have Haida Gwaii Community Futures. And then on the island, we have New Chalnet Economic Development Corporation. They're the community futures on the island. But, you know, certainly if there isn't one of us four that are in your region, any one of the community futures offices is still available to help. We don't have to go to an indigenous specific CF, but these are just so that you're aware of where we're located and how we can help you if you are indigenous. For us here in Soktamak at Stalo Community Futures, our service area is all the way from Fort Langley, where Kwantlen First Nation is located, all the way to the north to Yale, where Yale First Nation is located. Both sides of the Fraser River, we have a big territory, as you can see. There's a total of 24 First Nation communities, Stalo communities in our service area, and there's approximately 15,000 Indigenous peoples in our region. Here's just a sample. This is just of what we offer. But again, every community futures office throughout the province is going to have different training programs that they're offering year round. You can, look up the local CF to where you're located and find out what they're offering. And this is just, again, a snapshot of what we try to offer to give you, again, those tools, those skills. What is a business plan, marketing, business operations, fundamentals of business. So it's really key to keep an eye out. We, again, just do them ad hoc. We don't have anything scheduled at this time, but we will coming into the fall and going forward. Here's some of the loan programs that we offer. We have the Microloan Program. I know that there's others that offer it as well. It's loans up to $10,000. This has been a huge successful program for us because for us, Indigenous entrepreneurs that we work with don't need too much to get started. We helped one business who was starting a traffic control company of flagging. And she just needed a small truck and some equipment to get started. And this was the perfect program for her. And eventually this just was the start of something so small, catapulted her into just a booming business, and then later graduated to what our next fund program is, our general investment funds, which is a maximum to 150,000. Again, for those larger long-term capital that is required for the bigger businesses or more equipment or whatever it is that you need to get your business started. And not only just started, I mean, some of our entrepreneurs are existing businesses who may have already been in business for a few years, but they need to maintain or expand their business. They're growing, they need more again, equipment or funding for whatever is needed to continue to grow, and we want to be able to support that as well. And as I mentioned earlier, we work with our Indigenous community-owned businesses. The economic development organizations, have created a business and they need funding on their own. And we've helped, campgrounds get started, like the Cham Fishing Village out of Rosedale, out of Skelkale and DeRoche. So this is a fund, and again, our wonderful partner and colleague here on the call, it's a partnership with Vancity. This was created back several years ago, back in 2014, and it's not a program that's offered through Vancity. It's funding that we receive to administer, to work with our community-owned businesses, and a big thank you to Vancity for that. And then, of course, Manuel and Vanessa, I mean, they are the ultimate gurus and people that work with the entrepreneurs with disabilities. We also, of course, have this fund. It's a provincial fund, as we know, and we, of course, create those supports in order to, for those of you who have identified with any disabilities, we are here to help you and support you be successful in collaboration with through the EDP program with Manuel or Vanessa, and support you in however we can. This is just a snapshot I wanted to provide of a recent survey that we did, just trying to get an understanding of the different sectors that are out here for our Indigenous owned businesses in Soktamok. So we've got approximately about 320 Indigenous owned businesses in our service area. And here's just a pie chart here to get an idea, like construction and engineering, huge sector that's in our area, food and accommodation, of course, all the caterers and you know, Stó Bannock food truck and businesses that we've helped support. And of course, arts. We have so many amazing Indigenous artists and artisans in our area. We are thrilled. We are thrilled. WEBC, Sarah, you'll see this is just huge. From those 320 businesses, 27% of those businesses are owned 100% of their business. It is just amazing to see the growth that we're seeing with Indigenous women, just thriving and growing and becoming entrepreneurs. And out of those businesses, 7% have some kind of ownership by Indigenous women with another partnership. And believe it or not, through COVID, we had an increase of female entrepreneurs by 140%. It's unbelievable. And here's just a few pictures of youth artists, payroll, you know, micro studio and consulting companies. It's very exciting. Several years back, we created the Stó Business Directory. We wanted to have a resource where people can go find who's the Indigenous owned plumber, who's the Indigenous owned you know, hairstylist, whatever it may be. And we wanted to create a free resource. This is absolutely free, just like our services are free. And you don't have to be a client of ours. This is just a way of you know, just feeding this directory with as many Indigenous owned businesses as we can. We've broken it down into 12 sectors. And what we do is, as soon as we connect with an entrepreneur, we do a write-up, we get their logo and information, we put it on our directory, we also share it on our social media so that we can help promote our businesses and share as much as we can to get them as much promotion that we can. And again, this is free. So, you know, please contact, you know, if you need to know where a local Community Futures office is, you can visit the Community Futures website, and it should give you sort of where you're located and where a Community Futures is that's in your area to connect with you. Otherwise, you know, we are certainly here. We've got Shannon Smith, she's our business analyst. Bridget Hill is our administrative assistant, and I, as you know, general manager, and we're all here to help you and support you in whatever ways we can, answer any questions and get you started. So Kwasoy, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rocio. As you can see, there are so many tools and resources available for all of you. So this is a good reminder that you are not on your own, that you can count with us. And like Andrea said, if you approach Community Futures and we are unable to help, we are going to be referring you to that organization that can provide that assistance to you. I'm sure that WEBC, RISE, Vancity, all of us will be able to provide some assistance to you. Now, let's go to answer all the questions that were typed in the chat box. And if we have time, we can open also some time for some questions. Here, the first question, I believe that is for Dugan. So it says here, if I have an agreement with CRA, will I be considered? So Dugan, you mentioned some of the requirements that they have to be their income tax current with CRA. So that could be for you.
Yeah, well, as we know from the matrix, some rules can be broken, other rules can be bent. So, I mean, we have, you know, an exemption sort of policy that we can do, but I mean, look, at the end of the day, yes, CRA is not one that you want to mess with. So, and they're the, yeah, I mean, so we would look at it, you know, if you're on a payment plan that's up to date with CRA, then there's a possibility that we would do an exemption. But you know, for anyone listening here, you know, you cannot get behind with CRA. Like it's just it's a death knell to self-employment and entrepreneurship. So hear me when I say do not get in the ditch with CRA. But you know, yeah, we would take a look at it, and you know, the answer would be maybe, I guess.
Okay, thank you, Dugan. So if we go to the next question, is WEBC only accessible to women-owned businesses?
Yes, hi. I'll combine Larry's question with Ben's question. So yes, genderqueer people and trans women are included and welcome in the WEBC community and have full access to our skills development program and our mentoring program. However, if we have a client that's applying for capital, the applicant needs to identify as a female on their ID, as it is government funding that is designated for women.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. So people are asking about the presentation. So presenters, if you are willing to share your presentations at the end with me, I will put them together in an email and sharing that to all the attendees. So now I believe it's another question for WEBC. So if my wife would like to start a business, can she contact you directly, or does she have to go through Futures? I guess I'm not sure, Patrick, what you meant.
Yes, Patrick, your wife can contact me directly. I'll also put my email in the chat, but my email is Sarah with an H at we-bc.ca. Feel free to give her my contact information and she can send me an email and we can set up a chat.
And there is another question for you, Sarah. It says here, would I be able to connect with WEBC while I am already working with RISE Community Features and the EDP program?
Yes, most definitely. We partner with all the other non-traditional lenders and your big banks and your credit unions. So yes, of course, by all means, please reach out to us.
Okay, and the next question, Andre already answered, but I want to make sure that everyone is aware of. So it says, my wife and I are completing a startup business. I just turned 41. My wife is 39. Would we be eligible for your program, Andrea?
Yes, I mean, basically, if you're able to apply the day before your 40th birthday, we can work with you. If you do have partnerships, we have some flexibility, but we usually require the primary partner to be within our age eligibility. So, but again, if you have any questions, better to ask than just assume you're out. So yeah, let us be in touch.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you so much for sharing all the resources in the chat box. So the next question is for Puneet. Does Vancity offer loans to smaller communities outside of the Lower Mainland?
In principle, we will not, but we looking at the whole business. So I would say have a discussion with me. As I mentioned, there's a big gray area, not a black and white. So I would say reach out to me and we can discuss it further.
Excellent. And for the next question, I'm not sure who is directed to, but feel free to jump in if you have the answer for that question. It says, for a consolidation loan based on my debt ratio, now that my personal expenses are lower, would I qualify? Anyone would like to answer that question?
I mean, I can just jump in. I mean, basically, we look at your credit score and we kind of look at some of the details of that, and we do it a case-by-case basis, and we basically want to make sure you're in a good position to be able to repay the loans. So we do it on a case-by-case basis. So we take a matrix of your credit score, your business plan, and we look at everything together, and probably some of those details our analysts would take into account. So it's hard for me to say on without more information, but yeah, definitely we could take a look.
Excellent. So every situation is different, right? So we have to review in a case-by-case basis. So don't feel free to reach out and just see what the lender information can provide to you. So the next question is for Vancity. Is Vancity a direct go-to, or does an entrepreneur need to go through a partner first?
It depends what stage of the business you are in. If you are a startup business, I would highly suggest talking with Small Business BC for a review of your business plan. If you have received some funding from WEBC, Futurpreneur, you can come directly talk to us. And even if you have not received any funding or you are in the discussion stages, not in the stage where you are just writing your ideas on the scrap paper, but still, if I would say open up the discussions. I would say have that discussion with us.
And one more question for you, Puneet. It says here, additionally, does Vancity offer loans to cannabis-related enterprises? We do not and will not sell cannabis or cannabis derived products, only the accessories for the use of cannabis.
At this point in time, we are not doing any financing for any cannabis-related businesses.
Okay, and the next question is also for you. It says, does Vancity offer additional funding if your credit report shows that you already have a high amount of credit, such as a mortgage?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a different way of looking at the financing request. So depending on your business, because when you look at just the personal or retail lending, you just look at your personal income and compare that with your personal expenses. But when we look at the business loans, we look at the prospects of earning under your business in addition to your personal income, just like the side hustle program. And if in your business plan you plan to seek that, you know what, we are going to continue doing my employment and look at this business, then we can look at that. And in that sense, the income will be favorable towards the risk assessment.
Okay, thank you, Puneet. And the next question is for Rocio. Is there a way through the Stó CS to create a percentage of business revenue to be given to the Stó community? I live in the Stó land and want to be an ethical business on their land.
That's a really good question. Certainly, maybe we can arrange a discussion directly, but we've never done that before. I think that what we would do is identify which community specifically you would like to do that, and maybe arrange a conversation directly with their leadership on how you can directly do that. So that's a great question. I think that's a good idea. Certainly happy to discuss it further with you, Geneva.
Thank you, Rocio. And the next question is for Vancity. If business is 2 months old and having revenue of $3,000 per month, will you support for growth?
Yes, Vic, it's a good question with many different prospects. So we'll like to see what kind of business it is, number one, what kind of revenue it's coming, gross revenue, and then what are the other expenses, what is the net income, and a revenue of 3K is very, I would say, very broad. We would like to know more details and see how we can support you with other resources.
Thank you, Puneet. So we still have time, so we can open the floor for any questions. If you have any questions, then you have the opportunity to ask to the organization directly. You can unmute your microphone and ask any question that you may have. Patrick, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I've started up my business as of this year. December 1st of 2021 was the first sale that I got. It's an online fly fishing business. But in the past few months, I've invested personal investment into the company of almost up to $20,000, I believe. Some of it's come off of a credit card. Some of it is inventory that I've purchased. And any money that I've made or sold from the business, I've put right back onto the business, either paying off a credit card or whatever, to try to keep that in a balance. Would you consider loans that would clear off that initial investment personal investment from a business and kind of hit that at a zero so I can kind of go clean forward? Anybody? No?
I can answer that.
Okay.
So we would, in the past, what we have seen is, depending on your business, we would like to see the projections for the next maybe 12 months, but 6 months, because I think there might be a seasonality factor in your business, depending on, like, the sales will be much more in the next 4 months, but the sales might not be in the next 4 months. So we need to explain that in our kind of the business plan in our discussions. So we can definitely make a plan, because you mentioned there's an investment from the credit cards, and the credit cards at like 19 to 24% within that range. So Vancity does recognize that, and we can definitely look into that. So I'll put my email address. You can reach out to me, and then I would say we can have the discussions for sure and make a plan. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Puneet. And now we have another question. Big, go ahead.
I have a question from Puneet. Puneet, what are the things that I need to, I should prepare for if I want to go there and contact someone? So what are the homework I should do?
There are many things. Like, I would say have a business plan ready. Now, when you prepare the business plan, when you're going to meet the lender, send the business plan before your meeting, so the lender has the opportunity to read through the business plan. Keep in mind, the lender doesn't have that knowledge of the business as you do. They don't understand the business as you have that experience, right? So I would say in the meeting, try to explain the cost and the sale price difference. Explain the break even of your product. What that means is, if I'm selling this pen for $10, what is my cost, and what are my expenses, and what is my net income per unit, whether it's your product, whether it's your service. You should be very clear with the cost analysis. Number two, I would say talk about the market and marketability of your product. Discuss the competitive advantage of your product. Why is your business more viable than the business in the neighborhood? One of the examples that come to my mind is the convenience stores. Many people open the convenience stores thinking that, you know, we will be competitive. In some aspect they are, because they provide the convenience to the vicinity of the neighborhood, rather than going to Costco every time, or Safeway, or other big chains. People in the vicinity tend to go to that convenience store for the convenience. But you need to factor in what exactly will be the revenue, what exactly will be the expenses, and how will you be able to pay off the loan that you're requesting. So yeah. So
what I should bring if I'm having the 2 months of operations? What are the charts, or what are the figures I should bring for?
2 months of financial performance. You can put that in Excel sheet, because the business is quite new. You can take some credit, the merchant services statements and other things, and talk to the lender. But I would say the initial conversation should include your business plan, your cash flow projection, so the lender knows what exactly you're doing, and then maybe a phone call and discuss that in much more detail.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Vic, Puneet. So now we have somebody else that raised their hands. Just please go ahead and ask your question. There is no name, so I'm not sure what's your name, but you have your hand raised.
Okay, my name is Julie Melanie. This question is for Dugan. You spoke about low interest microloans from 2,500 to 10,000. I would like to know what interest do you give those loan at?
Hi, thanks for the question. And a very good question that I am a little bit behind on. But if you give me 1 second, I will pull it up for you and come right back to you. If that's okay, Manuel, can I maybe pop
Yes.
it in the chat? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
what,
yeah, we're prime plus something, and sorry, I don't know this off the top of my head. It's a very fair rate, but I'll have to check. Just I'm not 100% up to date on the rapidly increasing rates that we're facing. So give me 1 second, I'll get right back to you on that
yeah,
with the exact rate.
while
Thanks.
we wait for Dugan, so we can go ahead with our next question. Marlene, you had your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, I just started my business. I'm working on my business plan, and it's cost me some money to get things running. And I was wondering if there was a grant available.
I can sort of jump in. It will depend on the type of business that you have. So there are a few resources. Stephanie Sang has a business called Get Granted, and she helps people navigate grants. It's great. I highly recommend it. There is also, if you go on the BC government website, there is a link to all the BC government grants. You have to kind of sift through it, but and what I'll do is I'll pop a couple of these things in the chat, because we definitely get asked them. And the other thing I can also recommend is you can do a broad Google search around your specific business, but make sure it's Canadian, and make sure you're careful about that. And then make sure when you check out anybody who's offering a grant that they're legitimate, because I know a few times we have bumped into a few organizations that it was a bit questionable about how they were helping people get grants. So make sure that whoever you do get help with grants is strongly connected to the government or the bodies that are doing them. So if you have a business, technology, or innovation, then there's also SHUD and IREPs under the innovation federal government grants too. So yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and just to add to Andrea's comment, so keep in mind that if somebody is asking you to pay a fee for them to process your grant application, so just be very cautious. So I always encourage my clients to go to Industry Canada, click BC, and after you click BC, they are going to ask you the industry that you are working on, and I would encourage you to go there and check in a weekly or bi-weekly basis, because the grants change a lot. So just go there, and I know for a fact that this is a good resource to start with, industrycanada.ca, and click BC, and you will see any grant available for that specific area. So now also there is an app that I do have, and I get notifications about any kind of grants. It's called Canada Business, and it's from the federal government. And I use the Canada Business app, and I receive any notification at any moment regarding any grants available, so that I can promote those grants to my clients. And to answer Dugan's question, actually Dugan provided information here. So regarding the interest rate that RISE has is currently 6.2%, to answer that question. So any other questions that now that we have our 5 presenters here, take advantage of that.
I have a question. How's everybody going today? My name's Jason. I'm actually, I guess no one's really touched base on it, but I'm actually taking a company from the physical aspects into the metaverse, developing NFTs, going off crypto, kind of lined up with Century 21, Remax, some of the bigger realtors in the Western Hemisphere, stretching to events in New York, Dubai, Toronto, Mexico. So the question I'm kind of asking is, has anyone actually reached the point where they're giving loans to allow startup companies in the metaverse, buying property there? I understand people if you go by business fronts here, vehicles, technology, computer startup. Now I'm wondering if anyone's kind of went into the realm of being able to take the tools needed in the online world to take a business to that next standard. It's kind of an open-ended question, but yeah, if anyone, I don't understand. There's a lot of things I've been trying to look at, having like talking to lawyers about it, but there's a lot of uncertainty about it. Obviously, leaving the government-funded money, they don't like that. There's a lot of things in the currency world that's uncontrollable, but I'm wondering if anyone's had insight into being able to develop that. Also, addresses on this stuff don't really matter because all you need is a mailbox technically with working online. So that's something that I've kind of been looking at, and you're able to kind of hop around. But if anybody has any insight on it, let me know. Legalities are hard on this one.
Yeah, I can jump in. Yeah, are you talking, were you talking a bit more about Bitcoin? Or are you talking about something broader than that? So I was a little bit unclear, but
yeah, so what I'm kind of doing is like I have like an NFT developer happening, and so we'll be hosting the event. So, but what I've also done is also kind of started doing I did the UBC course for real estate. So I've instead of being a realtor in the actual world that we're living in now, I've had the okay from these other realtors to use their images and the digital images to bring it into the crypto online world, because we're having people come in that want to buy houses. Like we hear the banks saying stuff, but there's also people that want to bring their NFTs, bring their crypto, bring their physical gold, bring this stuff. Different kind of wealth is coming into Canada right now, and it's not carrying the Canadian currency. And so, yeah, so there's a lot of these connections I'm trying to do. I have my personal interest in the online crypto world, but bringing the business side of it's a whole other aspect, especially when I've been trying to talk to lawyers about it. And it's a real just like shunned away, because for someone to put their name, I find, on this, that's a real kind of lawyer that's not going to help you lose everything. They're really hesitant, and they want big, they want some money down up front that I don't have to give that right away. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find, because everyone wants physical stuff, but the metaverse isn't physical. It's like stable coins. I don't know if anyone's read about this, but we're now going to be able to buy gold in $5 quantities, $2 quantities. So there's this whole change happening, but it's hard to really get information on where it's going. And luckily, I've been able to kind of got in earlier on it, but I don't want to fund myself this whole time. So eventually, it's just I like to be able to expand.
Yeah.
There are costs, accounting costs. There's all this other stuff that's coming in that I'm not an accountant. So
yeah.
I don't know if anybody has ideas.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely with some of it, we might not be able to fund. I'll take a look at our specific FAQs if I can take quickly look and let you know.
Sure.
If it's a little bit too speculative and it's not really established yet, that might be challenging.
Well, the business is established.
But at the end of the day, if your business plan, we need to know, does it generate cash flow for you? And is it legitimately legal? So, and we also need some proof, usually with, especially connecting with WEBC, like there's not going to be any potential for fraud or money laundering. That's one thing they do look at with eligibility around businesses. So I can't totally tell you exactly that conclusion, but if you do have an idea or a profile, you want to run it by us, feel free, please reach out. Perfect. But just that's what we'll look at, where we want to know, like, is it past research and development phase? And if not, then what will it develop cash flow?
That's exactly right. And that's the problem too, is having where the home base is, where I'm going to pay my taxes. Am I going to put it somewhere where income taxes aren't such a hit? And if I'm still able to get the funding, if I'm putting that in a different state or a different country that's paying tax. So yeah, I do have your contact here, so I will reach out to you and then we can set up a conversation about it.
Awesome. I believe that Dugan wants to also add something too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like as the business landscape changes, the lenders have to adapt and grow. So we're looking at one deal in the metaverse. And it's a clean deal. It's the guy has properties and other things that generate income. So, without getting into the complexities of it, if it's generating Canadian dollar denominated income, And like Andrea said, like it all comes down to the business plan. Like if it, you have to structure your plan and application to the lender that you're working with, right? So for Rise, you got to bring it down out of that like stratosphere into, a $7,895 loan is going to buy me this piece of equipment, which will allow me to generate this much revenue over the next 12 months. So if you can bring it down into that sort of bite-sized, digestible language that a diverse loan review committee that's not maybe in the space can understand, then, there'd likely be some funding available. But again, just for, everyone listening, like try and think in terms of what the lender is looking for, not what you're looking for so much, right? Like you need to paint yourself into the picture that the lender, like, so, Puneet talked about, like all the lenders talked about, we do this, right? So if you're going to that lender, craft your ask to fit best within those criteria. And you do have to hint at, where you're going in the long term with the loan. But like, for example, with Rise, it's 12 months of cash flow projections. So, if you can get a clear, this loan will produce this much revenue in the next 12 months, then Rise will take a look at it.
Thank you, Dugan. So we are going to be answered the last question, and feel free to jump in any of the presenters. So it says, I have a good credit and I'm up to date with Service Canada, but my partner hasn't done his taxes in a few years. Am I best off creating the business in my name alone?
I can jump in. I would suggest, Lindsay, the best thing is to get your partner to file the taxes, because in the long run, it will be beneficial for him to access resources, access lending in the future. And if the timeline of the business is to start within the next 3 to 6 months, you can start under your name. And depending on the plan, who is going to be managing the business, if you are going to be managing the business with the help of your partner, then maybe keep the partner as an employee for the moment, and then you can change the structure of the business later on too. But a lender would want to make sure that all the personal guarantors and directors are up to date on their taxes, up to date on their business plan and cash flow projections.
Thank you, Puneet. It all comes to choosing the right business structure. So depending on the industry that you're thinking of, is that going to be a sole proprietor? We need to understand the pros and cons, and also is that a high risk industry? Perhaps you need to incorporate. So that's something that we can discuss, when you are choosing the right business structure for your business. So thank you. With that answer, so we end this webinar. Thank you so much for all the presenters. It was a great information. So last message for all you is that there are tools and resources available through all these great organizations. So don't be afraid to approach and ask your questions. We are here to provide that support to you. Thank you so much, and I wish you a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for the opportunity. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Manuel. Wonderful. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Manuel. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.